Let's
Let's
go.
get it. All right, we got my man Steve and my man Gabe, two very close amigos, and Stevie. I'm gonna call you Stevie. I'm sorry, I can't not do it. It's
That's
just in
cool.
my
That's cool.
heart.
I'm Stevie.
Yeah, when he saw my first podcast with Lou, and he was like, "Yo, we should do a podcast. Me, you, and Gabe. We should talk about the trip that we took to Asia." And that is exactly what we're about to do. And
Nice.
it was a doozy. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling great. Feeling great. Feeling fresh off the first Seder of Passover. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Still reclining. You feel me? But the uh, the funny thing is though, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, when was the last time just the three of us had a convo since then?
Hmm.
Like where there wasn't anybody else. And I was really excited to do this as soon as I got the invite. I was like, I locked it in.
it's a good point.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, but I'm feeling good. I had a good weekend. Ready to kick off this relaxing Sunday.
Mm.
Would love to talk about some Asia trips with y'all, and even just like just like seeing you guys and catching up with you guys is great. So
Cool. Well, let's get it. So, I feel like we can start with a little bit of context, which is so yeah, it was the summer of 2016. I got
Oh,
accepted to coach basketball in Asia. Shout out to Sheed. He was the plug. So yeah, I spent that summer in Bangkok, Thailand, coaching basketball. One of the best experiences of my life. And I feel like even before I went out there, like me and Gabe was like, "Yo, bro, trying to come visit you. We gotta like figure something out." And we put together a little game plan. So I was in Thailand, so we're gonna spend a week in Thailand. Then we had a friend Jess RC. She was in Laos at the time. Americans may know that's Laos. And then our homie Sean was in Seoul, Korea. So we're gonna spend a week in Thailand, week in Laos, week in Seoul. And then Steve heard about it and was like, "Yo, like that sounds fire. Like, all right, it'd be cool if I maybe slide in that joint." And he was like, "We need Steve. Like, there's no like that's just the perfect addition
yes,
to the
three's a party.
trio." So yeah, we pretty much that's what we booked. I think y'all came out. It was the beginning of September. Like I think it was like September 1st. No, it was actually what's before September? August. Y'all came out
Mm.
August 31st.
yeah.
And I remember
Hmm.
that because prior to that, like, I worked the camps and then I traveled solo, but it was 6 weeks in general. So I traveled solo for 3 weeks. And I went to Hong Kong, I went to northern Thailand, southern Thailand, Laos, a couple places, and I did my own thing, and that was in Cambodia. That was an incredible experience.
Mm.
But then I came back. I was like there for like 2 days and just chilling, and I was just like so excited that y'all was about to link with me in Bangkok, and I had like 3 more weeks of traveling with y'all, and like so I'll never forget. I think we should start with day one in Bangkok, and that was that's a fun one. So I guess
That's a good one.
throw it to Gabe. So what do you remember from your first day in Bangkok?
Oh man, that's a great question. So I think the first thing I remember was first it was a pretty crazy flight. It was my first time in China. It was a layover. You know what I'm saying? I didn't leave the airport, but that was pretty crazy. And so I just remember being with Steve and like we were in the Chinese airport and I literally met somebody. I don't know how we started talking. Maybe he had a book that like I recognized or something. My man literally grew up on Lincoln Drive around the corner from me. And we just happened to be in this airport in China at the same time in the same terminal. I don't know. So I'll never forget that. That was just kind of crazy. And
That's
then,
funny.
but that was like a good omen for me for the trip. I was like, all right, we're in the right place. We're making the right decisions here. We get to Thailand, and to be honest, I feel like right now I'm blurring some of the travel experiences we had because didn't we meet some young ladies from like somewhere
Germany.
like yeah, they're from Germany, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they ended up linking with us a little bit later on in Thailand. But I
Yeah. I'm not.
remember,
I can't remember exactly how we met him. It must have been in the airport.
I
Must
think it
have
was in
been
the
like
oh, I think it was in the airport, and then it was like we recognized them from the last plane, or we recognized her from the last plane, and then I think we both had to take the same sort of like tram out of the airport or something, and then we just, I think conversation just kind of started. But then, you know, I've always liked to build my travels out around people I know, because it's such a different experience when you're traveling to somewhere where you know somebody that's kind of like integrated into that place a little bit at least. And in this case, you know, we low key, you know, it's one thing to get Airbnb, but it's another thing to get like put up in a penthouse of like some dude with like oil money.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm in like the nicest building I think I've ever been in. And now I'm just like in Asia, and I don't want to get too far into it just yet, because I feel like there's a lot of twists and turns. But I just remember being blown away by the density and the colors and the smells, and then and honestly, just my man's penthouse. Like, you know, he had a whole music studio in there. He had like a drum kit, even though I know my man didn't play drums, yo. And then it was like a whole personal bar. There's this deck where I'm just looking out over all of Bangkok.
Yeah, the deck was great.
It seemed like we were about to be in a Hangover movie, and I might not have been too far off.
Yeah.
And so I think we didn't really have too many set plans, but then Ian was like, yo, I actually got this string of events we could hit up, and we're like, all right, let's do it.
Wait, was that the first night when we went to that bar on the back of the mopeds?
I just want to set it off real quick. We pregame at our little self-service bar on a deck. You know, we're celebrating. You know, this is like glorious. This is like the best way to start any trip, as far as I'm concerned. And it's just like it's just so funny to me, because like I literally got in a long-term relationship, the relationship of my life, when I, not long after I got back. And so this is like this almost feels like another part of my life, right? In a way, those like 4 years ago. Yeah. And like, almost looking at the world different, young bachelor, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember, we were pre-gaming at the bar, and then we were trying to go to this spot, and the host of the place we were staying had a moped, and Ian had been whipping it, right? He was feeling comfy, but we all were we had some liquid courage going, and we really tried, all three of us, to hop on a one moped, like double piggyback.
What are those little things called? Those kind of mopeds? Vespa. It was like a little Vespa.
Yeah, it was a Vespa.
And that thing was not built for three dudes.
We were just like doing this.
We didn't make it out of the parking lot. Let's just say that.
Thank God.
Thank God. We probably would have died. But I think then the best part is we like all got on some random dudes moped, and like
no,
and then you guys
I got correct you on that.
I just remember you guys met, and like I'm on this other dude's moped, and like I'm like, yo, where are they going? Like I don't even know where we're going. And I got caught at a light, and I'm like, damn, like I just hope my man communicated with these other moto taxis.
Right. Like let me take it back a little bit. I'm gonna throw it to Steve.
I'm all over the place.
They weren't random dudes. They was motor taxis. So these are professional taxis with motorcycles that pick people up. And I got three of them. They all knew where they was going or whatever. But yeah, me and Stevie's boy was just out. Oh no, we hit a light. Like your boy got stuck at the light and ours was gone. But even before that, my friend Vinny hit me up and invited me to one of her friends graduated from college. And she was like, yo, we're having like a little graduation dinner type of thing. You should come. Then we may go out. And I was like, that's a bet. But literally that day, two of my friends are flying in from Philly, my hometown. Like, is it cool if they come? And she wasn't sure. She had to like kind of feel it out, but eventually got the go ahead. So literally we're pulling up to this girl who I don't know. It's her friend, her graduation dinner. And then, I'll throw it to Steve.
It was kind of nutty.
Steve, what do you remember from that?
From that experience? Well, I mean, first of all, I was just going to say, getting off this plane in Asia, like it was me and Gabe's first time in Asia. And it's just like, you're halfway across the world. You're as far away from everything you know, and so it's just a jarring experience. Like
Right.
immediately, I'm just like, I'm gonna be open to everything. Like I have to be. Like getting on a moto taxi was basically like one of the most thrilling rides I've ever taken. Like it's a roller coaster on steroids, you know? And just getting off this, like you get immediately off of that, and then you're just like, let's drink some wine with some random shorties we never met before for their graduation. Like they're all close, and we're just like this party crew, kind of. But yeah, I mean, it was mad fun. We just like showed up, showed love, drank a little bit, and just was trying to be open to whatever the night had.
Cool. And the night definitely had some. You want to get?
I remember. I just remember two other things. Well, one, I remember on a moto taxi. I definitely had never hugged a man I never met like that in my life. Like full wraparound waist,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying. And I was like, he smelled good. You know what I'm saying. I wasn't mad, but it was one of those things where I was like, I just had to put my faith in Thailand because here I am, like I was 6 hours in and I'm already just on some dude's moto taxi. I don't know where my people are, just in traffic. Put the prayers up and we made it though. We made it. My man knew where he was going. Like you said, he's a professional. And then
that was just like the first of many experiences.
I was
like
just
that.
going from the house to the mall or the
right.
spot. And I remember there was like somebody walking in that was like getting paparazzi'd. It was pretty epic. Like it was the first time I ever seen like a it was like some like Thai celebrity was like walking through the mall like
and I remember that.
And then the best part was like we show up to this joint that was like your friend had a friend that was graduating and they invited their friend and then she invited you and you invited us. And then so we're kind of just like party crew, like like what do you guys want to do? And then like I just remember really only getting to know the one girl because she had just gotten fired, and so she was like really upset and like definitely she was drinking her pain away a little bit. But we, you know, me and Steve, we were going right into action. You know, we're trying to console her, like, yo, one door closed, another one opens. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were also, I think, both in the hotel business too at the time.
Yeah.
So we were like, look, there's 30,000 hotels just in Thailand. You're good. Like, you know, it was like I remember that, and then like eventually, I think it just felt like they were just trying to move on. And so like, we kind of had to. I really don't remember what happened right after that.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. First of all, I want to mention
where E comes in.
So yeah, we pull up and Nana just got fired, and she was definitely like, I'm not gonna say hysterical, but like close to that. She was very upset. She had already drank a lot, and actually we pulled up. They already ate. Like we pulled up late.
Right. We were gonna get dinner. They're like, oh, we're getting a check. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like this is a whole nother thing. But like, so Gabe immediately became Nana's psychologist. Like you were just like it was just y'all. You were just giving her all the game about how she needs to like, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Like you said, there's other jobs. Like you were just like, we're the best random person to come in and just like provide help and understanding. And then I remember he had like a margarita too, a couple shots. And then Nana was like, fuck it. Let's go to Khao San. And Khao San Road, for those who know, it's pretty much like, it's like Bangkok's version of Bourbon Street times like 2000. It's just like this wild street where it's a lot of foreigners, parties. You can eat bugs. There's strip clubs, crazy clubs. Like it's just shit you can't really imagine. So she's like,
wise words though. The ping pong show is not what you think it is. Okay.
We don't gotta talk about the ping pong show.
I'm just talking, you know. Wow. Yeah, we had to learn that we were it was a crash course. It was a crash course.
I mean, we ain't do nothing with the ping pong show. We just
right.
Y'all learned about it.
I thought we were about to play ping pong. I was like, he was like, yo, Ian was like, Gabe, no, we're not going in there, yo.
Oh my God. Do we eat bugs? No, we didn't eat bugs that time. I don't think y'all was about the bug life.
No, I did. I went back to Thailand a second time, and I did eat the scorpion the second time because I was like, I already know what I'm doing. It's fine. Like I'm a pro now.
Yeah, we're scorpion brothers because I also did that. But so pretty much, Nana's like, fuck it, we're going to Khaosan. So me, V, Steve, Gabe, y'all two, the 5 of us, we're about to hop in this tuk-tuk. And
It was a nice
we
crew.
get the tuk-tuk, nice squad. We get the tuk-tuk, which is like a type of taxi, and pulls up, we're getting in, and Nana's like, I can't go. And I'm like, what do you mean can't go? Like, we're trying to all go together. This was your idea. She was like, I just can't go. I don't feel good. I feel sick. And like, so we were just kind of like, oh, all right. I guess just us three will go. Like, you sure? And so we went, which ended up being a good decision because she supposedly like threw up everywhere. Not too.
Yeah,
long.
it was like immediate.
Not trying to expose.
It was like immediate.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was
Whatever.
like we're like, no, yo, get in, no, get in. And then she was like, no, I can't. And we're like, all right. It was like weird because it was her idea. She was like, yo, let's go do all this stuff, and like we finally get in, and she's like, yo, I'm not going. And then we were like, what? And then so we were kind of salty, and like then we just like started peeling off, and then like I just remember all the cookies started getting coughed up.
Oof.
Oh, you saw the cookies. I
didn't know you saw the cookies.
I was face ahead. But so we get to Khaosan, and I'm gonna throw it up. Steve, Gabe, whoever gets the hand up. What's up with Khaosan? How y'all feeling?
Oh man, I forgot that was the first night. Like it almost like that
Crazy.
night is like ingrained in my mind as just like I don't know, but it makes sense. We were just getting the crash course of Bangkok. Yeah, I mean it's just parties. Like this is all years before COVID, right? Like this is just.
COVID might have come from there for real, yeah.
Right, for real. Like it's just there's just endless bars, restaurants, whatever. It's just a whole street of just parties overflowing into the street. And you can just go up to any spot and just like pay like 5 baht or whatever it is and get in and get it popping.
Yeah.
But it got a little crazy.
Yeah, I remember it was just sort of like it felt like if it just felt lawless. Like it felt like I could do anything and it would be cool. You know, and like there was just like sort of Ian, just like you were getting at, there was also like everything available. You know, you got dudes walking around with everything from like wild drugs unique to Thailand or scorpions for you to eat, you know? So it was like you could literally get anything from any dude. And then also this attracts a specific crowd, right? Especially when it comes to international travelers, right? Because this, like you said, it's sort of like the Bourbon Street of Bangkok, and it has that draw. So it was, you know, it was one of those things that I remember we just like did a lap, or like we went through the whole thing. We just like experienced the whole thing, and then I think did we like? Yeah, all right, maybe I'm making this up, but did we buy 40s?
Yeah, we did.
We bought
Okay, cool.
40.
All right. I was like,
yo,
oh yeah, we did.
So we all got our 40s, sipping our 40s, walking to the end. We get to the end, we kind of like feel it out, looking around. Stevie's like, yo, like I feel like we should go back and just like get it all the way popping. Let's just have a blast. And just,
no, Steve, like, no, we're
it.
like sitting on the steps. We're like sitting on these steps, like cracking these open, just like replenishing our fluids. And then Steve like stands up and like stands in front of us. He's like, guys, like we're gonna go back through there. And we're not going home until we're like some. It was like we were about to go. It was like we were in 300
battle. Yeah.
And little did we know we were about to be in like a Tony Jaa movie, yo.
It's true.
Shout out to Tony Jaa. But,
okay, so what
Steve pumped us up.
Gabe?
All right.
Steve pumped us up, yo.
Yeah.
And I just remember we like all committed. It was like we pledged. Like we're not leaving here. Essentially, we're not leaving here without a story. That's what it felt like. And I think if I remember correctly, we only went in like maybe a couple places, and it is pretty weird.
The first place.
I went in one place, and I think Steve went to the bathroom, and then Ian and I saw like a table where there's just these 2 girls, and so we're like, yo, there's 2 of us. Like we just like started a conversation with them, and next you know we're dancing, we're just all having a good time. Eventually we had to move on, but it's a little blurry right there because I think in that time, the dancing time, like we were drinking a lot. And then I just remember like it's like literally a sea of people in the street, that just like moves into these different bars and restaurants. And it looks like there's no barriers, but there's actually these dudes with like green shirts, and they're like pretty, like they were pretty low key. Like I didn't necessarily think it was anything, but they are like security, right? They're like stopping people. They're like, yo, 5 baht, yo, that's 20 baht for her, yo, like the whatever. It's like, yo, you can't come in. Nah, you two are done or whatever. And I just remember, I mean, I don't remember anything between this part from the dancing to this part. But then I remember Ian is going in. He's trying to go in to, I think, just check out this other spot. And my man's like, nah. Like, I think he was maybe trying to charge you or something. Ian wasn't having that. You know, he probably just saw like 5 people go in for free. And so Ian does what Ian does and just did like if I remember correctly, my man hit like crazy like spin move and try to get in there. And I'm leave it open.
Ian says we're forgetting something.
Let me get this. So I go in, like a lot of these bars, you can just walk right in and go to the bar, right? So I try to do that, and the guy stops me. He like kind of like touches me, and I'm like, I had drank a lot. I wasn't kind of sure, so I kind of looked at him confused, try to keep going.
Because he looks like a regular dude, yo. He doesn't have like an earpiece or nothing. It's just like a dude with a shirt.
Right. Like. And then we pretty much have a what battle. I remember the what battle. So I was like, what? He was like, what? I was like, what? Oh, even before that, no, he makes the money sign. Like he does this, and I don't understand what this means. I'm like, what? He's like, what? We just say what like 3 times, and then like me being like, and then me being ridiculous, I like pick up a plastic chair, and I just like smash that joint on the ground, and like I could have hit him. I could have hit the shit out of him. I remember specifically like not hitting him. And just like throwing it to the ground out of anger for some reason. And then like as soon as the chair hit, I was like, oh, like we out. And I just started running. But Gabe,
here's the funny part. My man says we out, but it wasn't. It was me out.
It was I'm out.
No, you and Steve wait. Maybe go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, I was just gonna say I remember seeing it all happen. Like we're like a crowd away.
Yeah, we were like
me
20
and Gabe.
Away, yo.
Yeah, and me and Gabe are like watching, and we're like, "Oh snap!" Like Ian's altercation. And I just remember seeing Ian just pick up this chair and just emphatically just like slam it down and just start booking it. And then in that moment we're like, it's like that trigger goes off, and you're just like, we gotta ride to our home.
All of a sudden it became a Tony Jaa movie because it was like we're sitting there. And all of a sudden, this escalation just occurs. This chair gets suplexed, and a leg flies up, and then Ian disappears. And we're like, all right, I guess we're gonna try and find him. And so I remember we just like started like running through the crowd, and then literally, I see you like just gunning it out. Like all I'm seeing is the back of your shoes, and then. Out of the woodwork, though, like 30 of these dudes with green shirts are like swarming in. Like they just put up like
it felt like a lot of them. It felt like a bunch of them. They were like coming out of the crowd
scene, dude. And they're like trying to dive tackle Ian, and he's like, "Yo, my man was like Barry Sanders, yo. He was like not touching the ground, yo. It was crazy." And the best part is me and Steve. I don't know about you, Steve, but for me, it felt like I was a part of the. Like, I felt like I was involved. I felt like I was being chased. But I was chasing the chase. Like, we were just running behind you guys. Like, whoa, like, this is crazy. And then, like, I mean, obviously we didn't have a chance to, like, register the severity of the situation. Because this easily could have gone so off the rails. Like, our first night, we're just, like, in the jail, like waiting to bail you out. Like we're in the lobby, like filling out paperwork in Thai. Like I don't even know how that would have gone, yo. But the thing is, like, we don't know. But
it wasn't getting me.
No, it was not happening, yo. I was like, Ian has been training for this his whole life, and my man's in peak shape. he was built for this, and a couple extra sips of malt liquor will give you a couple extra miles per hour on that 40.
No. So I do want to say, yo, they almost got me, yo. Like I remember like
Yep.
running at first, like thinking like, they're not gonna get me. And then one dude like kind of grasped me a little bit, and I was like, oh, like this is a little more serious. Then out of nowhere, a dude threw a punch at me and like kind of like grazed the cheek, and he dropped me just because like the momentum. He didn't get me like square, but like I fell, and when I hit the ground, like everything in my soul was like, nah, like they not about to get me. And I did a roll. I fell. I did this crazy roll, and I was just gone. And like on Barry Sanders, yo, it was really like a video game, bro. Like think about like it was like thousands of people on the street. Like I was just like dipping and dodging and moving, and like they was not about to stop me. Like you said, I trained my whole life for this. Like this is what I do. And then I remember like
in retrospect, that was just the first round of the training session that we had to go through in Thailand, you know?
Yeah, my man had his reflexes tested.
Yeah, the reflexes were tested in every different juncture.
Oh, yeah. So to wrap that up, I remember like just getting to the end of the street, like adrenaline pumping and looking back, and as far as I could see, I see Gabe and Stevie like, yo, yeah. Then we hop into the taxi, take the taxi back to the penthouse, and that was day one in Bangkok, which is ridiculous.
It was crazy, man. It almost went off the rails.
So yeah, I feel like we could get right into the island situation. If there's anything other situations in Bangkok, anything I would speak on, but
there was one sick like DJ party. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that party.
That was probably before we left for the islands, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that if I remember correctly, unless that was in between. Okay.
It was
in
between.
It was definitely first night. It was like we had the first night or two. Then we went to the islands, came back. Then we had that party.
Oh, okay, got you.
Then we kicked to Laos. But yeah. I remember we really liked that because there was the Thai rapper, and like you know what he was saying.
Oh, yeah.
My man was rapping his ass off in Thai.
Yeah,
Stevie
flow was crazy, yo.
I was into it.
Yeah, that was popping, and that's when.
And it was cool to see his squad was out. His squad was up there. Like, he had all the support. It was love.
Sway, good old Sway. Yeah, that's a place like that I frequent. I used to get free chicken wings there because my boss had like the Connect or whatever. But yeah. So I'll throw the what's it called? The beginning is the next situation. So now we're going to this island, Koh Samui, and it's in the Gulf of Thailand. It's a beautiful place. I had gone there before with Bets, and it was just like an incredible. So like the beach was paradise. We had this place called Bongos where the juice was right off the mango tree right there. It's so good. And I was like, yo, we got to go to this island. Look, I got to show y'all this shit. So
that was the only reason we went was Bongos, yo.
Yo, real rap. And then
that's all you need.
Yo, Gabe. Yo, I might, bro, remember oh man, I should have brought this up. It doesn't matter. You might have to go to Facebook messages real quick and pull up that jar, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's later. So we get to this island.
I got you.
And we all rent motorbikes. If you got the phone handy, if not, we're good. Get on motorbikes, and now we're on this island where it's just like open road, beautiful. We have a great situation, and I think it was the second day, like.
It was randomly like Italian Airbnb though. Like it was like it was like El Castillo.
They were serving pasta and stuff.
Yo, I was dying. I was like,
it was like $10 a night or something. It was like $15 a night, like split between the three of us. It was like ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how it is out here, out there.
Right.
But yeah, so this specific day, I think it was like the second or third day, whatever. We went to the beach once. Incredible, like just a beautiful place. So I remember we had the plan where I was like, all right, like I gotta show y'all Bongos and this beach I went to. But before that, on this Google Maps, I found this waterfall. That I was like, we can go to the waterfall. Then we can go to this garden that we ended up going to. Then we'll go get lunch at Bongos. Then we'll hit the beach. Bong bong. That was the plan. So we pull up to the first spot, the waterfall, and it turned out to be like a safari little park, and they were getting ready. And I throw that to Steve. How you feel
Oh
pulling up
man.
to?
Yeah. When we pulled up, it was like waterfall this way, and then it was like just these magnificent elephants just greet you at the gate. And that was just so sick. Like I think that was the first time I really was that close to elephants and just like seeing them, it's I guess it's more like a zoo, but it's really kind of between zoo and in the wild, Like they're being cared for, But it was just awesome. There was a little baby elephant. It was the cutest thing ever.
Oh,
And then I just remember we like chill with them for a little bit. I took some videos and some photos, and then we just started climbing up this mountain. And I remember we like saw this little tiny waterfall like real soon into our hike. And we were like, that can't be it. That's just like a little trickle of water. Like
yeah, it was like
that
somebody
can't
left
be
the faucet on, yo.
it. Yeah. It was just like not like a Thailand waterfall is probably something crazy, So we kept going. We just kept hiking. We kept hiking up. We're hiking up this whole entire mountain. I would actually like to tell this part of the story because I was in the back. It was like Ian and then Gabe and then me. And then so we got to this ledge. There was like this
Or
6-foot ledge. Oh, you got something else?
I think I'm gonna play this. Like I'm gonna try to play it. Let's see if we can. Compressing video. That joint is compressing. All right, keep going, Steve.
Basically, we're trying to find the waterfall for real. And so so Ian's like, yo, we gotta go up this ledge.
Well, real quick.
All right. All
We
right.
were on a path. We were on a path for a while.
Yeah.
Like you said, we got to that like little waterfall, and we're like, "Yo,
Right.
this is not it. This is not
Right.
it. This is like a wet rock. There's no way. This is the waterfall." So we decided to keep going, but we're basically like off-roading.
Yeah.
So at this point, there isn't like a clear path. We're just like, "Oh,
Right.
well, this looks like
Oh,
it's walkable."
also Gabe had the GoPro like on his forehead going the
No,
entire
it was in my
time.
hand.
Oh, it was in your hand, right? It was in your hand.
That's
You
why I
were, like,
couldn't go up the
holding-
ledge.
Right. You were holding the GoPro. Ian was like, we got to go up this ledge. Gabe was like, I don't know if we can go up. And I was basically in the back, like, I'm going to let them figure this out, but I don't think we should go up there, And then
I get up the
Ian-
ledge.
yeah, you
I
get up first.
I get
Yeah.
up the ledge, and then it's just like a huge spider web across the shit. And I was like, all right, that's an omen. That's a sign. Like, I'm good.
Right.
Like, I don't need to crawl like limbo underneath this this I don't know what kind of spider's rocking out here, yo. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. And he was like, I'm not satisfied.
He was like, we could just dip under it. It's super easy. You just dip under the spider
And
web.
he did.
He did.
My man dipped under.
And then
slid under that
it
joint.
was like,
and yo, hey, I'm not playing, y'all. I'm not playing. Maybe I'm talking about less than 6 feet. There was no social distancing at this time, and a king cobra popped up.
Cobra.
A king cobra popped up, full crown, hiss. I looked at it. It was looking at Ian. Yo, Ian's reflexes, yo. Once again, my man's vert was crazy.
Right. Oh my god! I
see the
can
best
always
part.
remember that.
Can I say the best part is that I had the GoPro, and like, let's say my camera right now is what the GoPro's looking at. The cobra's like, hold on, the cobra was like right here.
Whoa! Whoa! What was that?
Yo, are you about to play a video?
my bad.
That
It
was
on-
epic.
Damn. It said, my bad. Keep going.
No, you're good. You're good. I thought you were about to see the
Nah.
footage, yo.
Yeah, bro. It says fucking file must be MP4. So salty.
Ah,
Life goes on.
that was some intense music, though.
Yeah, I was like, yo, we're entering the memory banks.
I'm-
But
Damn. Keep going. My bad.
yeah, no. Feel free to troubleshoot that joint. But basically, like, it was one of those moments where reality kind of sets in. It's like, okay, we are just in the fucking jungle. Sorry, excuse my language. We are just in the jungle, in this random island in Thailand, where there's no staff, there's nobody out here, there's no trail, and there are king cobras though.
Yeah,
And like
I remember later. I looked on the Google Maps. I was like, "Where are king cobras in the world?" And it was like right where you guys are, like exactly where you guys are. That's where they are. We were like, "Oh snap!"
They really.
I remember I couldn't actually see the king cobra. All I saw was the tail of it, and I kid you not, the tail was just like thick, and I just could only imagine like what the head would look like staring into his eyes like that. That's wild, man.
I mean, you can think like obviously we recognized it, right? Ian and I knew what a king cobra looks like,
right?
But nothing is going to prepare you for being face to face with that thing. Like I don't know. It was like one of the craziest. Ian and I both immediately just screamed. Like that's just our response. We just started screaming.
I remember this part. So y'all started screaming, running. Ian fell in a thorn bush, and we're just out. And all I'm thinking is, because I remember I had just like watched Jungle Book on the plane, and so I'm like, it's a Black Panther. We're all gonna die. I just remember that thought crossed my mind. I was just like, it's a Black Panther. We have to run as fast as we can, and we probably all will die. And so we're just jetting it down this mountain, screaming.
Yo, I don't even think we got that far until we realized like it wasn't following us. And then we just had to like regroup for a minute. We just like all had to just like sit down and breathe and like.
That's where we got that photo on the Instagram page. That was that photo. It was directly after that king cobra sighting.
Like literally 2 minutes after we almost had to carry Ian like on our back. While his legs turning purple.
What's happened to our boy?
I think he's bringing up the video or some video.
Oh, okay.
And
you can't even.
You just broke up a little bit, man.
Yeah, that was legit what we sounded like when we saw the king cobra.
Right, we good. Let me.
All right. I just remember, like, just being so great.
I feel it. Like I feel it.
I'm sure.
Yo, that thing was 4 feet away from you, yo.
It was close.
And I don't know if it was like a mom and it was like watching its eggs, and that's why I didn't attack, because it could have attacked. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's not like we're that agile. You know, that's like it would have been bad news if that had happened. But we got the full hiss, we got the crown, and then we were out. You know, we just.
What I'm wondering is how much of the next story we should actually tell. Because
I mean,
the next story is at the beach.
Yeah.
Well, so this just to sum up, if anybody's thinking about going somewhere, and they're like, I don't know if I should go to Thailand, I don't know if I should go to Southeast Asia. Here's why you should go. Not only does the dollar go a long way, but we are in this island, and literally within 2 hours of almost being defeated by a king cobra to being on the beach getting massages.
Yes.
And like eating mangoes. So it's like it's the relative adventure is like you really can't find anything like it. You got a little bit of everything. You got Metropolis.
I will say one thing though. I will say one thing to that, to add to that. Go with at least one other homie. Like do it with someone else that you feel very comfortable with, because having that like company while you're out in the rainforest, like searching for a waterfall, could mean everything. Like if you're alone, like if you're alone, it might mean you're dead, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to scare people. Like you won't die. You won't die in Thailand. You'll be fine. Even if you're alone, you'll be fine. But I just think it helps like create these memories and keep you safe. And look at us, you know, 7 years later or whatever, we're all reminiscing about it. So
yeah, and also it's like the stories that we have would mean so much less if we weren't able to share it. So that's a great point though, Steve.
Yeah.
Yo, I think I figured this out. Let's try.
Let's give it
Let's
give this a shot.
It's
Yeah.
for the homies.
What?
Like, ain't no rules. So we're gonna go bang. Oh, new situation. And then
Yeah, this looks nice.
Whoa, this is cooler
Got the
actually.
widescreen. I got the wingspan.
wow.
The stretch.
And then wait, let me see if this one pulls up. Can y'all see my
You can
screen
see
or
this.
no?
You can see this creepy little baby right here. Baby head, doll head.
Wait, what? There's a baby?
No,
can't see
it's
my
just a
screen, though?
doll head.
No, Steve had a baby.
No. Stop that.
Wait, you couldn't see my screen though?
It was all black. It was just dark.
Sorry, this is just me and y'all. All right, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to figure this shit out. Fuck it.
What video are you trying to play?
The Cobra John.
Oh man, you have that?
I do. Might have to be.
Well, you might need to just post
shit.
it in a link later or something in link in bio or something.
Yeah, that's actually a hot little. Yo, that's just for the Patreon listeners. So.
Right.
Oh yeah. If you want to see that shit, hit it up. But how do you feel, Gabe? Do you feel like the next part of the story is like?
I'm down, yo. I'm down, yo. Let's get it.
Let me. So we see a fucking King Cobra. That shit was fucking crazy. Like I played it chill for a little bit. Like that shit kind of changed my life. Like that shit was 5 feet away from me. It hissed at us, had the crown. I was scared out of my friggin' mind. I'll never forget Stevie, the quote Stevie said, look back, Stevie was like, talk about girth. So calm. But then like you said, man, we eat this delicious food, we go to the beach, and then like we're sitting like, we're in this amazing water, but like kind of all of the people were at one part of the beach. And we decided to venture off to the other side of the beach. And then, so we're just like sitting in the water. I remember it was like corally. So we had to like walk kind of easy. It was kind of hurting our feet a little bit. But we get to this place and we're exploring and we're sitting in this beautiful place. And then like all of a sudden, yeah, I think we had already gotten these Thai massages. And so, yeah, we're just floating in the water. And then this woman kind of just like, we see her like slowly meander her way over towards us.
Hold up. The word Ian originally used was saunter, and I feel like it's very accurate. Yeah, well, it literally felt storybook though. It really felt storybook because here are just like 3 dudes randomly in Thailand. We don't know anybody, and then or on this island where we don't know anybody, and then somebody literally sauntered towards us. Like you said, everybody was over there, and there wasn't a lot of people around us, and so it almost felt I don't know. It felt cinematic.
It felt like a movie. It felt like a movie scene, kind of.
Yeah.
It was.
How do we start conversation? How did that open up?
I feel like she just like slid through on like the super thorough and just like said some slick shit. I don't know what she said, but like she was. I remember Jasmine from I want to say Amsterdam, but definitely the Netherlands. Oh, I'm drawing.
I don't think we don't need to use names. We don't need to use names.
I mean. There's no way.
We'll use a first name basis.
You good? Yeah, she was the homie. And she kind of just like came over and started talking to us. And I don't know, she was just a really cool, interesting person, traveler. And then I mean,
all right. So you want me to take it?
Yeah.
So I just remember we started having some conversation, and then eventually, like, we started talking out of the water, and then we were like, "Yo, have you heard of bongos?" Like, all right, yeah. We were just there for lunch. We're about to go back for dinner. Like,
that's like the best pickup line in Koh Samui. Have you heard of bongos?
No. So she was out there just like looking for travel companions for real. So we ended up all linking up, and we just had like this beautiful dinner. It was like the 4 of us just all catching up and or not catching up, but like learning about each other's stories and like what's going on. She's like a journalist that was also like, I think she like learned how to surf in Australia and then became a surf instructor or something like that. And then like is now traveling in Thailand. There's like all this stuff. And I just remember having a great all four of us just had a great dinner. It was just beautiful weather. Everything is just a dream. And then I remember this was a great day. And then I think we were headed out the next morning, and we go back on our mopeds or on our motorbikes, and like eventually she peels off. We all say goodbye. We get back to our Airbnb, and I just remember like Ian and I were sharing a bed. We were bunking together, and I just remember she said. Also, I get this Facebook message because we all like exchange Facebook info, and it was like the sweetest message I ever got. It was like, just wanted to thank you guys for the lovely day and evening. I really enjoyed myself. Say hi to the others, and hope you meet again at some point. Safe travels. P.S. I really love my boyfriend, and I don't want anything out of what I'm about to say, but I just wanted to tell you, you're really my type, and you're a really nice guy. And I'm just like gassed up, I'm like, what? Like, this caught me off guard. I'm like feeling myself. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I don't even know what to say. Oh, what? Like, and then I accidentally like hit one of those sticker buttons on Facebook Messenger. And look, let me
show us this thing. Yeah,
I responded. It's like legit. It's like legit me and my ego.
That's so
like,
funny.
but I'm trying to get a
God.
nice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's the response. Like,
I don't even know what kind of sticker that is.
Yo,
But that was like that was like maybe the best response I think I could have had though.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what the craziest part of all this is?
Yeah.
Is that we just talked this whole time and we're only on like day
Thailand.
6 of Thailand. And like there's still 2 other weeks in 2 other countries. Like,
but that, mind you, that was one day.
Yeah.
That was one day. The King
That was
Cobra.
all in one day. Yeah. The King Cobra day was all day.
Bro,
yeah, that was like
the King Cobra.
But it was funny. That was like that. I went from like I was feeling myself to like I just felt like a child.
Yeah.
It's like.
Okay, cool. So I just had to say that like that Cobra could have easily killed me, but it didn't.
It honestly could have been the end very easily.
Yeah, and I think there's something special about that. That it was just like pretty much like get out the crib, back up, and like it could have easily killed all of us. Like this one's fast.
Yeah.
It could have bit the shit out of us, but oh my God, I don't even.
It didn't. But it didn't. But I definitely could see that like that's a massive event though. Like that moment will always be with you, especially Ian, because you were the closest, and it changes things,
Yeah, I got a little thing with snakes for sure. Like I'm not as comfortable as I used to be, shall we say. But yeah, so all right, so next we go to Laos. And if I remember, Laos is just like overall, like it's a very special, like it's a place that we know about, very small, I'm gonna say secretive, but our homie Jess was there and we linked up with her. It was beautiful. We went to the waterfall. We took the boat.
That was a real waterfall.
To these beautiful caves.
That was the waterfall.
Yeah, that was like real. Like I feel like there's nothing that like totally crazy. No cobras. No like almost no Jason Bourne movies. But like it was just like a beautiful week to just go to a beautiful place and just relax and hang out with our friends and see some beautiful things. Speak on that.
So I would just like to say, I think Laos, like I'll always remember that week in Laos as basically just being in like a mystical paradise kind of place. Like it was just like super relaxing. You're just it's like very humid. Like you're just eating delicious soup and you're just like chilling, playing chess with monks. And you're just kind of like sitting by the river and just like, it's just very peaceful. And especially like coming from Thailand and Bangkok and Cobras, it was just like the perfect switch up where you're just like, oh, we're just going to chill in this waterfall and like hang out with Jess and like eat some cool food. It was just nice.
Yeah, it was definitely like the vacation section of the trip, like where it wasn't really like we're running around trying to do a bunch of different things. We were just like, yo, let's go to this temple and then go get some like coconut pancakes after.
Yeah.
And that's the whole day. Yeah. And like I just remember everything seemed like it just moved slower out there. Mm-hmm. We were just like, I mean, I think we walked around a lot everywhere, but Like I think that was the one spot where we didn't really like we weren't like taking trains or buses or like
Yeah.
taxis or anything. Like we were just walking everywhere and like
One thing I
oh,
also oh sorry, just one thing I also remember is it's such a small city. Like like you remember
right.
looking out the window when we're landing and there's just like people watching the
Yeah.
plane. And then we realize there's one plane in and one plane out every day. So like people like the people living there just watching the plane come in, you know? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and it's
It's
like
cool.
it's in between the Mekong River and what was the other one?
Oh, I forget.
But it was like
I
in
think
between these two huge rivers. And
The Mekong though is fire.
it
Like
was just so epic. It was so epic. And then we took a boat down that river for like
yep,
a couple hours
yeah,
and then ended up we checked out this one really cool place, but then on the way back we stopped in this random island where there was like you had to walk through all this brush and like go up this hill and then there's like this little like a bunch of shacks and people were just up there making whiskey.
yeah. Whiskey
Oh
Island.
yeah, whiskey. It was definitely not an island, but was it an
Oh,
island?
I don't know.
It doesn't
I
fucking
don't
matter.
know.
But it was homemade whiskey, and I
Yep.
remember. Damn, this doesn't really matter, but I bought a French coin from like 1901 from that John, and like I just
Mm.
remember. I feel like I gave that to my partner, but that kind of fucked with me a little bit. But whatever. But yeah, did we have whiskey from there?
Yep.
We had a few shots. I think we got
Few
some
shots?
maybe to bring back
I
with us.
remember I bought some and then it
Yeah.
definitely like evaporated.
Yeah.
We thought I was like,
Something
this is
weird
still
did
sealed.
happen.
It's a sealed empty bottle. I was like, what? They're
Right,
good.
and yeah, and definitely Jess was a great host. I feel like
Oh,
I
Yo,
remember
Jess was
like
absolutely.
phenomenal.
yeah, I
That
think
was
that
so
was like
sick.
I remember just like being so happy, and I had just gone there like maybe 2 weeks earlier to see her for her birthday, and I just being with Jess in Asia was just like the hottest shit. I just remember like being so fulfilled, and obviously with y'all, like you said, after that crazy week in Thailand, we were just like
Yep.
straight relaxing, Luang Prabang, and but yeah, then I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like there's not much we can say about Lao.
I mean, yeah, Lao was really, like I said, it was really just like the vacation. Like that's the joint where you're like on the grass reading a book. Like that's like
Yeah.
what we were doing, not like you know, creating chase
Oh,
scenes.
so a little setup. I remember when I went there by myself. Um,
Yeah.
Jess gave me the autobiography of Malcolm X, and I
Mm.
had never read that, and I remember reading it while traveling by myself through Asia, and it was just so powerful. Like if you read it, it's one of the best books of all time, one of my favorite books ever, and it was just so powerful to me. Like I'm learning this crazy journey, this story, while I'm on my own journey, and then I finished it, and then I swung it to Gabe, and then
Yep.
I got to watch. I got to watch Gabe experience that book through our journey through Asia. And I remember, like, I definitely remember seeing you in Laos. I might have gave you, I don't know if I gave you in Thailand or Laos, whatever. But I remember, like, sitting by the river and you're just, like, going in on that book. And I'm just like, yo, like what part you at? What part you, oh, that's just crazy,
Yo,
right? Like,
Big Red was with us, yo. He was with us
real
Yeah.
on that trip,
facts.
yo. And that's gonna come up later in South Korea.
I was
Exactly.
I was reading on this trip. I remember I read the whole book. It was very short. It was just called Peace is Every Step. And I just love that book. And I think it's a great book to read while you're traveling around Asia because it's all about just kind of like the aspect of remaining in the present moment. And it talks a lot about like the religion out there, like Buddhism and the whole idea of just taking each day as a new learning opportunity and every smile is a gift. And it's just a cool book to read, especially while you're in Laos,
While you're
where you're just
traveling,
like,
yeah.
while you're in such a peaceful place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be a quick second. But for that, so we leave Laos, we pull up to Seoul, Korea, where we're meeting our homie Sean, who's like a very popular YouTuber out there, which is
Yo, he's
hilarious and amazing.
also we're like from the same neighborhood. All
Yeah.
four of us.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's my brother.
Relatively.
Like, that's like I've known him since I was 4 years old. Like it's been like me, him, and Malcolm rocking since we were 4 years old. So like, you know, to see him in Seoul and Korea with y'all, that was super special. But I just want to like, okay, so we pull up to Seoul first day. Gabe, take it over. I'll hear this story on the way back. I'm about to use the
All right,
restroom
cool.
real quick. Go in.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like what well the first thing I remember is like Ian gave me the task of booking the Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, that's a good
or no, the hostel. It was a hostel.
Yeah.
What were they? I forget what they were called, but it's basically like it's like a chain almost, but it's like a common hostel, I think, in South Korea,
Yeah,
maybe in Southeast Asia. But it was I don't remember what it's called, but
Right.
Ian was like, "Yo, we're staying at that one," and I was like, "All right, cool." I book it, and I definitely just booked the wrong one. That was like in a different part of Seoul. That
Yeah.
you know, fortunately, they have an amazing public transit system, but that definitely was a little out of the way. I mean, honestly, in hindsight, I'm kind of grateful because like we got to explore a different part.
Yeah.
You know, we got to kind of.
I'm actually super grateful because if you think about it, that's actually where I met Nick. And if we had gone to the original one, I probably wouldn't have ever met Nick, and I might have never like taught English, or I wouldn't have taught at the same spot or whatever. You know.
Ian, we were just talking about how I booked the wrong hostel, and then
I already know.
Changed the course of Steve's life, yo. That's crazy.
A little bit, a little bit.
That's crazy.
Hey.
Well,
yeah.
I remember we meet up with Sean, and I mean, it was just so sick because, you know, if you grew up with Sean, he was like always a cool, funny kid, and like somebody that was always really nice and lovely to be around. But I was a little younger than him, and my understanding was like he was a little more to himself. Like he was like, you know, a little more low key. And then here we are in Seoul. And this is maybe the first time I've really gotten to spend like one-on-one time with him. And my man is like a cold stud, like fluent Korean.
Mm-hmm.
He is more confidence than and it was just like,
and he's tuned in. He's also locked in. He knows the clubs. He knows the people. He's like,
it felt so good to be with. It just felt so good to be with him and like part of his group.
Oh, and then he got us locked into the that little group of friends that he had that like did the
games, yo.
The language exchange too. The language exchange.
He did the meetups.
Yeah, the meetups, and that was actually really cool because we immediately got tuned in to people.
Literally the best kind of thing you can have from your connect in a different country is like they literally run events where native speakers and foreigners learning the language just meet and like hang out. And so it's like the best thing if you're traveling. And I remember we did one of those and it was awesome. We're just like getting a feel for Seoul, which at this point, this is like so we already did the adventure in Thailand, then we did the actual vacation in Seoul, and then, in Laos. And then in Seoul, it was like that's like the party place. Like
it was the party place. It was like, and then for me, I was on a date with a Russian girl in Wild Phenomena.
It just like turned into a Rom Com.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Thursday party. That's the name of the club.
It's basically, I forget the name of Steve. Maybe you could tell us the name of the holiday, but it's basically Korean Thanksgiving. That's what we were, AKA everything's closed.
Yeah,
and
for like a week too.
And here we are in Seoul, South Korea to eat. What are we in a? We're in a Subway in South. We were eating fresh, and I just remember meeting up with Sean's homie that runs a board game shop.
Right.
Playing games, and all of a sudden, trying to play games, and like my nose is just in motion. I'm like trying to focus. I'm like learn to fix my sinuses.
Oh,
it just really.
I did that, and it did work. So I probably told you to do that. Like I had a cold in Thailand, and I got some spicy Thai food, and it was gone.
Right. And I then remember being like, guys, like I just gotta go back. Like I'm just sick. Like I can't hang anymore. Like I'm not built for this. I just need to like go to sleep. And they were like, yo, you know how to get back? I was like, yeah, I can figure out. I'm just taking the 5 train. Like I'm just taking the number 5, and then that's going to take us to the stop. And I feel like I pride myself on being able to navigate foreign transit systems just like by like, even if I don't understand the symbols, using the symbols and like trying to match them up. And I always like that part about traveling, the navigating. And so I'm like, no, yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's whatever. Like the train's right there. I'm gonna get in. Well, long story short, I did not have it, and I just remember trying to ask people where the number 5 stop was, but everybody just thinks I'm waving. Like nobody knows what a 5 is. Like I'm like, do you know where number 5 is? Can you tell me where the train number 5? Nobody. They were like, nobody was giving me any answers, and it took me a solid I don't even remember. I might have come back to you guys like, yo, I can't figure this out. Like I don't remember what it was, but I eventually get home. I like buy some like one of those like little mini mouthwashes, and I'm just like going in. Wake up the next day feeling great, but all of a sudden I got no voice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is a plot twist. Fortunately, I got some pretty active eyebrows, and that was like my main. It was like eyebrows and sounds,
hand motions too, for sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of hand motions and a lot of whistles.
That is one thing you learn in Asia after living there for a year. Ian, I'm sure you know, but like even just traveling, you just use all the different kind of other ways of communicating that are available. Like hand motion game was on point.
Yeah, and I just remember.
I want to say that was the day that I realized how hilarious you are, because you couldn't speak, like you literally couldn't make words, but you had me cracking the fuck up like multiple times. Like the one, like it's like, yo, it's like it's gonna be impossible to do, but like in Seoul, when the train comes in, every time there's like a video game ending, like Mario, like the train pulls in, it's like, and then it goes. And like, so it does that sound.
That's it.
And like with perfect timing, Gabe is like, he just like goes like, like he won the yo, bro. Like it was a couple of those where it's like, yo, like how the fuck did you have us crying and you couldn't speak?
All right, I'm gonna tell you the. Can I tell the one?
Tell the one, bro.
So this is probably my favorite story about Southeast Asia. Speaking of which, of Malcolm X, right? I had this Malcolm X book with me because now I can't talk. So I might as well occupy myself if I'm in a situation where I have nothing else to do. So I have my book with me. We're going to meet up with Sean at one of these meetups. And this is where I learned one of the creepiest things you can do is go to a meetup with no voice. So basically I'm in this meetup and like, all of a sudden I like accidentally make eye contact with somebody and like I smile because that's like super that's just an unconscious behavior. I'm going to do that all day. Somebody comes over and it's like, hey, like I'm this, and I'm just like and like I couldn't do anything. So I go, I gotta get out of here. This is just like setting, like now I'm just like, I don't know if people think I'm like angry at them or something, but like I'm like I don't know, like not able to make any noise. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just read this book. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, post up in the library, and just chill out. Get in the bathroom, and I see that there's no toilet paper. So I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm like not in a rush. Like, let me go downstairs. I go outside. There's a restaurant next door, and this is also when I realized another one of the creepiest things you could do is just go into a restaurant, don't really make eye contact with anybody, and then just snag like 30 napkins out of one of the tables and then just do it. And I remember just getting all these napkins and then just being out, going back to the bathroom, posting up. Now I'm comfy. I'm like getting into like chapter 9. I'm like, I'm in my bag. And then all of a sudden, boom, like the door slams open. Somebody is very much so in a rush. And I just see like the sneakers are like squeaking across the floor, like somebody's really trying to get to the stall. Somebody gets in the stall. I recognize the sneakers.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh, I think I know exactly who that is. And from the sound of it next door, they did not have any time to look to see if there's if there's toilet paper. So let's just say they fully committed. And here I am. I feel like so good to know that I have an abundance of napkins to share with my partner. And then this is where I realized like that third creepiest thing you could do is just randomly offer things under a stall with no noise. I can't make any sounds, or I can't make any words. I just had to like offer some napkins up to my man. So I basically heard him go, "Oh no!" Like after he had like fully committed to the situation, not knowing there was some tools missing to complete the job.
Who was it? Was it me?
No, it was Ian. Ian. I recognized. I love that Steve thought it was.
I'm used to that.
But I just remember he was like, oh God. And I was like, yo, I got you, bro. I slid my hand underneath with the tissues, and he was like, Gabe? And I was like,
little whistle for confirmation.
Yo,
and then next thing you know, it was probably like 10 minutes of us both just laughing in individual stalls for like for a minute, for a minute. But
that trip was amazing, man. That was
a highlight for me, yo.
That was a highlight.
It was just like
a lookout.
Yo, that was a major lookout. I don't know what we would have done. To be fair,
bro, dog, that was so funny. Like, I can't remember a time where like I was so, like you saved my life. I was so relieved, but I was also like laughing hysterically at the same time. Like, that was amazing. But yeah, Steve. I guess what do you remember from the? Yeah, let me go into like I'm gonna just say this. Like Steve low-key fell in love in Korea in that week in Korea. Like
at Thursday party, yo.
Yeah, we went I think the first night, and the cool thing about Korea is like so they have like they party in sections or whatever. Like first they got the pregame where they chill a little bit. They got the stages. And they got the next pregame. So first I remember
they do this, yo.
It was just oh my god. Like I'll say one thing about Korean partying is this was 2016 September. Like I really haven't had the urge to party since because of that week. Like since Korea, like I feel like I got all of my lifetime partying.
We got it in.
And I was just like,
we really got it in.
And also just to put in perspective, just for people listening that have never been to South Korea or Seoul or anything, there's literally an entire like industry of breakfast places that cater to the people that never went home. Right. Yeah. So like it's common to just go from the club to breakfast. So just to put that time for and then to work. It's like, they do that, they do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the first night at Thursday party because I feel like that stemmed like some other things that we could talk about and then we out. So first we link up with Sean and it's just us four. We're like catching up at a bar, get a drink or two, whatever. And then was that the night we met all his friends and had the drinking games too? Or that might have been a different night. In Itaewon?
Yeah, it was a different night.
That was a fun
I think it was a different night. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Let's just say some flowers got potted that night.
So I forget what we did. But I think no. I think actually we went with Sean right to Thursday party. And like
yeah, that
Korea,
sounds right.
Like I feel like Korea like got the party thing down. Like it's like what I remember is like the amount of people, the music level was perfect. So it was like the music was loud enough that you could dance your heart away, but you could still talk. Yeah. And like it wasn't like super packed, like so you couldn't move. You could still like be yourself and move. And I remember Bangkok, that kind of was an issue. It's like a lot of parties you just couldn't speak. It was just so loud. You couldn't move. It's like I'm out of here. But like Korea just like had all the factors down properly to make like a great party scene, and like everybody was having so much fun. It was like people walking up to me like, "Hey, my name's Jane. What's your name?" Like people were so open.
True.
The energy was so like. Remember the one girl told us that she defected from North Korea, and like we talked to her for a while, and like I believed her. My dumb ass was like, she had me going. She told us the whole story. She was like, "No, dickhead. Like I'm not from North Korea. I'm from fucking like, 10 minutes away." I was like, "Oh shit!" And then we met the Muslim girls who lived in Germany. Remember, it was like Asma. I forget the other two's name. It was like they were like very interesting characters. We were just meeting so many people, and I remember at some point, like I just saw like Steve kind of busted it up with a little cute girl, and turned out to be Yulia. Oh man, I'm going names. I'm sorry. Like, it's not
cool.
that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If it is, I'm
Yuli, if you're watching, that was a great time.
yeah, it's all love. And like,
Yeah.
I just remember it like, like a couple minutes went past and I'm having a blast, see Stevie, a couple more minutes, still doing it. And like, you guys like had like a good connection in the club. And I feel like, you like a whole rom-com started in Seoul. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I mean, basically, we had just been on this crazy voyage, this whole wild, like I remember it was like 11 flights in 3 weeks or something. Like we're just going everywhere. And I don't know, I don't really remember. All it was we were at Thursday party, and I'm just kind of scanning the room. Like you go in there and you scan the room, you see what people are doing, who's doing what. There's a group of girls, there's a group of guys, whatever. And I just remember throughout the night, we just kind of locked eyes. Like everybody knows that. Like you just kind of lock eyes, and then you're looking to see if the other person sees you. And it was just like, oh, she's looking at me too. Like I'm not just, it's not a one-sided thing. So I just was like, I got nothing to lose at this point, right? Like I'm in South Korea, I'm going home in a few days, whatever. I have nothing to lose. Like what's the worst that could happen? She says, get out my face. And then I move on, So I just come over and say, what's up? And it's like her and a few friends. And we just start talking. She's from Russia. She like lives in Korea. She's just like really cute, really fun. Like doesn't really party that much. So she's just like, yeah, like I'm just like drinking with my friends. Like she's got this awesome accent. And then at some point, like later in the night, you guys were like, Steve, we gotta go. We gotta go. And I was like, all right, hold up, give me a sec. And I like get her information, and I was like, I just think you're mad cool. Like, I really like you. And she was like, I like you too, or whatever. And I was just like, can I, like, and then we just kissed, and then I left. And I was just like, bye, I'm sorry. Like, and then we were like texting, and we decided to meet up like the next day or day after that at Namsan Tower. And we just like basically just went on this romantic date. And I don't know, like, yeah, obviously, like you said, like, I just thought she was mad cool, and I just didn't want to like lose contact with her. And then also I was already starting to think like the wheels were turning of like, I kind of want to teach English here. Like Sean did that. My homie Neck can hook me up with a job doing that. And Yulia lives here. So I'm like, if I can come back, maybe I could see her again, And we did actually hang out like several times. It just never became what I was envisioning in that moment at Thursday party, but it was mad fun.
Oh, I do want to ask you before I want like the final story, unless anyone else has anything else. What was it like living in Seoul? Like you lived in Seoul for a year. You lived in Korea for a year, bro. Like,
yeah, it was awesome, man. It was great. Like I was working 9 to 5 basically. Like the job was pretty demanding. I could walk to my job though. I was living just outside of Seoul. I mean, I think I had so much fun. Like on the weekends, I just went into Seoul every weekend. I had so many different like homies, and I would like just keep making more homies, and I had people I could stay with. I ended up having a girlfriend in Korea for like a few months.
You had a hedgehog too, right?
I was pet sitting for a hedgehog at times. Like I had these really cool coworkers. Some of them weren't that cool, but most of them were. And I even like broke up with that girlfriend, and then like 2 months before I was about to leave, or a month before I was about to leave, I was seeing this other girl, and she was like, I want you to stay. And I was like, what am I doing? But the one thing was like the worst part, the only drawback, the only drawback was that I just like missed my homies. Like I was just like, there was times where I was very lonely. Like throughout the week, it would just be like, I teach kindergarten and kids. I get home, I eat dinner, I watch Game of Thrones, and I go to sleep. And like, I just got lonely. I miss like my family. I miss my friends. Also, I'm on Instagram, and all I see is like Larkin and Otis just like partying every night. And like the Eagles are having this amazing season. And I just felt like I was missing this really awesome time, even though I was already having an awesome time. So it was a win-win, really. But there was just a lot on my mind with all that,
And then it was dope when Ryan came out there.
Yeah, Ryan came out there 6 months in.
Yeah.
So we basically chilled every weekend and like went to all the cool food spots. Like we would go clubbing. Like that was actually really dope. Ryan being there was sick. Yo, shout out Ryan Lim. He's the
Oh,
man.
Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
3 words.
Interesting. Is Ryan still out there?
I
feel
think
like
he is. Yeah.
Yeah, my man
Yeah,
got a
he's
whole
probably
gig. He got a
he's
lady.
probably yeah, I was gonna say he either finished school or he's done with school and he's
Whoa.
just
You
living
said
it.
you said he got a gig, GIG. All right, cool. That sounded kind of close to kid, KID.
Oh wow.
I was
No.
like, Ryan got a kid.
That'd be
Good
wild.
word. That's cool. That would be. Ryan, I'm sure he's probably loving out there. That like
I know. Yeah, I gotta catch up with him.
it just connects. That just makes so much
We had
sense.
a good time, man. We had
So,
the
yeah, I feel like-
spiciest,
well, you got
the
it.
spiciest food of my entire life was me and Ryan. We were both dying at this restaurant. Like it was insane. Like we got killed that night. Like we had all these plans and we basically just had to like go home. Like, it was bad.
Spice will do that to you, man.
So, yo, Gabe, is there anything else you'd like to say about Seoul before I kind of wrap it up?
Never get anything with the name American in it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
Like Steve just wanted a tiny bowl of white rice. He just wanted a little bit of white rice, yeah. Just like a little side of white rice. And we were trying to communicate that to this like lunch spot that like we were low key regulars at, and we just had a whole meal. Like we already had like 3 huge meals we were sharing.
Right.
We just wanted Steve just wanted a little bit of rice. So he like looked up a Google image of rice and like the translation.
Yeah, I
like,
just pointed at the rice.
It was like, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, I got you. Yo, why did they whip up like 2 platters of like what they call like American fried rice? It was like, which is basically just rice and ketchup,
and an egg. It's like an egg omelet encapsulating white rice with ketchup. It's like it's like not fun to eat. It does not taste good.
But yeah, stay away from anything
too.
American.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
So much of it. Because I probably said 2, so she just makes 2 of these giant platters.
And the worst part is they swore that like you were gonna love it.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
God.
But no, Seoul is one of the biggest cities in the world. Like it's an amazing place. It's a dynamic place. Like there's people from all over the world. Like the culture is strong. Like it's wild.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. I would go back to all 3 places, but I think that Thailand.
Maybe we need a reunion trip. 10-year reunion.
Let's go. I'm with it. I guess Ian, I wanted to ask, like, what was it like after we left? Because didn't you go to China?
Hong Kong, yeah.
Or Hong Kong? Yeah, you went to Hong Kong.
Yeah, wow, that was actually wild.
That must have been a whirlwind.
Yeah. So, not to talk too much about this, but I remember, so from Seoul, y'all flew back to America. And that's what I was going to do until I realized my boss had open jobs in Hong Kong. So I talked to him, and then I got the same job I was working in Bangkok, worked in Hong Kong. So I switched my flights up, and from Seoul, boom, flew to Hong Kong. I remember I got in like really early. And I hooked up my whole rent situation, had found a pretty good spot or whatever. So I get there and I'm thinking, I got there in the morning. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the money from the ATM, exchange what I have left. I was going to sleep in the airport. And then in the morning, going to go to my my new apartment, pay my first situation with rent. And then my boss wanted me to work that day. Literally, he wanted me to come earlier, but we had already booked this trip. And I was like, yo, bro, like, I'm down to work. I'm down to do whatever, but like, I cannot get there until I think it was like September 21st or 22nd. So get to Hong Kong. It's like 1:30, whatever. Exchange the money I have from Seoul. Go put my ATM in the bank, in a card in the bank, and it eats my card. It's like, boom. Like, so now I'm just like, freaking out because I don't have enough money to pay my rent. And like, I'm just like, yo, is he going to let me in? And I remember I'm on the phone with my partner. I'm on the phone with my mom. Like, luckily it was like 1:30 during the day back in Philly.
Right.
So I was like, what's going on? Da-da-da. But like I just like freaked my own self out because I got there. He was like, yeah, just pay me when you can. Got the keys, got in, and then I worked that day. And like, yo, literally, like for like at least 3 weeks, my sleeping pattern was fucked up from that. Like every day after work, I would try to stay up. I just couldn't bang out, spend all night, and it was just like that. Just like fucked me up. But I was in Hong Kong. I wake up from my nap. I nap from like 5 to like 7:30. And like I wake up and I go outside and there just be like a million Chinese people everywhere. And I just be like, I'm like, where am I? Like, I live in Hong Kong now. Wow. But yeah. Oh shit. Okay. So I got 3% on my phone.
Oh,
but,
we also we went pretty long.
Yeah, it's gonna go long. So I'm gonna wrap up with the synchrony. Honestly, time like me and Jamel's was 2 hours, and like people love that genre.
Oh, okay,
like,
word.
I try to tell people like with podcasts, it's like you don't have to watch the whole thing and direct. Like watch 20 minutes washing the dishes, another 20 minutes while you're making food. Like it is what it is. I'm not. It's for the homies. Like it's really
for the homies.
Like they'll be all right. Like this ain't a super production. Couldn't get the.
I got one thing that just came to me real quick. It was when we were in Koh Samui on the island. The first night we fell asleep. Steve woke up before all of us, which was rare at the time.
Yeah.
Went up to the roof, like meditated with like the sunrise, and then like we woke up, and then he came down. He was like, "I feel like a new Steve."
Oh
yeah,
man, new Steve.
New Steve.
And I said that changed the tone of the whole trip.
Yeah, that was the beginning of new Steve. Since then, I have grown. You know.
Are you Steven now?
No.
Okay. Still Stevie.
I'm Stevie.
That's got to be the EP. Still Stevie.
Still Stevie.
Still Stevie. I'm trying to get on track.
Features.
Yeah, we might have to make a track. Actually, man, let me not talk about that. But okay, so definitely the Seoul, like, is probably one of the wildest places I've ever been to. Right? It's like the future. Everything is clean, operates orderly. The train's on time. Like the parties are crazy. Koreans party so hard. Well, I'm at 2%. I'm gonna try to do this. All right, let's get it. So I had
Go plug it in.
Okay, I'll plug it in. You're right.
Just give yourself that ease of mind, you know.
Damn, yo.
You're right.
Got these high ceilings, bro. I'm trying to come
through. The roof. Yo,
we gotta come through.
Yo.
I think Ian's situation right now seems so sick, yeah.
I'm about to book this flight.
Yeah. Bro, it's possible. All right, let's see if we can do this. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, you still there?
Yeah,
we're here.
All right. You still there? All right, cool. I heard you wonky. Oh, shit. Oh, let me get sick. Maybe we should just roll out now.
Wait. What were you saying about synchronicity?
Yeah, Steve, we gotta book this flight to Ecuador, yo.
For real. Ecuador. I was there for a month also, many years ago.
Right, many moons.
All right, we good. We back?
Let's go.
All right. This is funny. I like this.
Talk to us.
Not the highest production value, but that'll be all right. So, I feel like Thursday party, you were talking about how we were just like, it was just amazing. We were meeting so many people. It was such a good vibe. Like I feel like every aspect of the party was fun. I remember me and Sean played beer pong against the French dudes. That was like
that was so much fun.
Yeah, it was like the World Cup.
It was the World Cup of beer pong.
It really was, and like they were talking shit. Like that was so, but like that was just such.
They were singing like French anthems, and we were just like, "Yo, blah!" Like
Steve was like, "Let me get a celeb shot."
Yeah. Oh man, that was so sick, and we won too. Let it be known. Let the record show.
Yeah, we definitely won,
and we didn't even draw and start a USA chant. We did not.
Right.
We're trying to set a new tone.
Yeah, that would have been some MAGA shit.
Global citizens out here.
Right. So what am I trying to say? We met so many people, it was like impossible to leave. Like I felt every
Yeah.
time, right? Every time like we met someone, try to leave, Steve was talking to someone. So me and Gabe were all right. Then me and Gabe start talking to somebody. And then Steve's ready to leave. And then he's like, all right. And it's like I felt like that happened for like an hour and a half, like us
I
trying
mean,
to leave.
people are just out.
Yeah.
Right. And then so one time we get together like, all right, we out. It's time. It's like almost 4:00. We should get back. Whatever. So we're walking out, and I remember Gabe's in front of us, and then someone stops us and said, like, asks us like where we're from or something, and Gabe doesn't see. So Gabe keeps walking out the door, and I'm watching Gabe walk out the door while Steve tells the guy, we're from Philly, and it's these Swedish dudes, and they're like, Philly, West Philadelphia, born and raised. Like they're super excited. So we have a little conversation with them. Gabe turns around like, oh, like these motherfuckers still in there. So finally we finish, get out to Gabe. Now Gabe's in the conversation with a girl and a guy, right? And
right.
in conversation now, right? And I remember she had like a red hood on, really interesting. It was her and her brother. And we had a real good conversation, probably like 10, 15 minutes. We're like, yo, we should definitely link up sometime. Gabe exchanged information with her, blase, and that was that. And then like as we definitely, me and her like had some eye contact, like interesting. Like I felt that shit. Like, okay, who is this? All right, like yeah, definitely get her. I was talking to her brother, whatever.
Yeah.
So fast forward to like maybe like 4 days later, and this is the day that Gabe loses his voice. So like hit her up. Like, yo, Gabe, see what she's doing. Gabe hits her up. She's like invites her to the meetup that we were going to. And she's like, oh, I can't, like it's my roommate's birthday. I'm going out to a party with them. Like, sorry. So I'm like, all right, never gonna see them again. Life goes on, as whatever. So we go to the meetup, and Gabe can't talk, which is hilarious, as he explained. Me and Steve have a blast, and then we go to the after party situation, which was also, I remember it was like,
oh damn, that's cold, yo.
Damn.
You're about to get to the punchline.
Oh no.
Here's the best part though. This is the best part though, Steve. This low key just became our podcast now, yo. Welcome to For the Homies.
For the Homies with Gabe and Steve. What up?
Yeah, this is what we do. You know, we like to get together every Sunday and really just get ready for the new week. You know, we like it when you guys tune in because we know everybody's in the same boat on Sundays, right?
Oh yeah.
What's going to happen Monday? And that's what we're here to talk about today. So, Steve, I had a question for you. How was your rest last night?
Rest? Oh my God, all-time high. It was great. I had a great session of sleep last night, and it has me feeling just great right now. How about you?
You know, I feel marvelous, and honestly, I feel really grateful to have a podcast now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Me too.
I'm really excited to see where this goes. You know, season 1 for the Homies. It was actually me and Steve's idea.
Yeah.
And and I just know there's really nothing like the Homies. You know, so this one is for all of the homies, and I don't know. I'm obviously not well rested. I think it's one of those things where you know, satyrs tend to go long. It's a bit of a bender, and especially when you got to commute on the other end of that. And yeah, so here we are for the homies. We just did we just manifest the leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were about to pivot, yo.
We were about to steal this whole idea.
We're about to turn into a Sixers podcast.
Yo, Sixers, Eagles. No, not Eagles. Sixers. Oh man, they're on fire. They're on top of the world.
Honestly, I think that was a sign that this story doesn't need to be told.
Yo, the Wi-Fi said, "Pull a plug." Pull a plug.
And I got one. This is probably gonna happen again because I guess the charge isn't enough to keep it going anyway. Like I put it on the
Wow.
charger, but it's probably still gonna check. But either way, the Patreon. This is a crazy story. You try and hear it, you can get it live on the Patreon. You can also get the video with
King Cobra.
of us experiencing the King Cobra.
That's
And
right.
Steve made a nice little recap. So if you want some
Yep.
special features, if you made it through this drone, definitely gonna get the production value up. But like we off the mud. This is a Philly for the homies drone. Like,
We out the mud.
but yeah. But
This was
we
great,
an
man.
hour and a half in. Yeah, I feel like
I'm gonna need to run this back though. I'm gonna need to run this back for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. We gotta do our one-on-one drone for sure.
And also there's so much going on. It's crazy. It literally feels like when we went to Asia, it was like a different world in a lot of ways.
For sure.
Different.
Oh yeah.
Different a lot of things. Yeah. So we definitely all gotta catch up. Get on a relevant tip. And
absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe me and Steve. After you left, Ian, we were about to book a trip to Ecuador. We're like, yo, we got to wrap this up in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't, bro. I got a good situation out here. Like it's like
I heard.
It's not nothing is set in stone, but like thus far, where we are at and how it happened is like couldn't ask for more. It's really incredible.
Nice.
As well. So definitely gotta get into that at some point. But yeah, Gabe, I definitely, we could get one about the world. I'd like to talk about the world with you at some point. If anyone wants to listen.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, like, we'll talk about that. I could definitely slide out this and that and here and there. But I'm actually about to be in Philly in like 2 weeks? Maybe like 3 weeks.
Ooh,
coming
slide
back
through.
2 week situation. So
say what's up.
Anybody holla at me. Oh, it's going down, bro. We definitely got a Sixers game or two to watch.
Yes, dude.
Know.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yo, appreciate it. If there's anything else I want to say, now is the time.
I just want to say shout out y'all too, man. I almost didn't even come on that Asia trip. So I'm just y'all are the homies, man. This is great. Happy to talk this out with y'all.
Yeah, same here. I mean, honestly, it's like I said, it's like one of those chapters of my life that's like locked in stone, and I'll never forget. And for the homies that are listening, I'm sure everybody knows this, but find one of your homies that's in a different country and just go see what's up with them. Obviously, there's some obstacles afoot right now, but come time when you get the opportunity, just go for it. It's always worth it.
It's a great point.
Yeah. You got it.
And Ian, thank you for the opportunity, bro, because we wouldn't have had this podcast or any of those experiences if it wasn't for you taking those leaps.
It's true.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that was like the funnest 3 weeks of my life, yo.
Straight up. It feels like it was a year.
Yeah. It's something different. Like, I've been fortunate to go on some fun travels and adventures, but it's different with your close friends.
That one sticks out. That one definitely sticks out for sure.
So, but we saw
a big
cobra,
way.
dog. I seen the cobra. But,
in the wild, that joint is not.
Yeah.
There's no plexiglass like that joint.
No
plexiglass. We were in his crib.
Oh man, it's like the highs and the lows. That's what makes that such a memorable time,
Yeah.
If you want to see that video, hit me up. I didn't do an MP4, but pay what you want. No, I'm joking. All right, y'all.
Mwah.
Peace.
Love.